Welcome back to the Perks Recap Podcast. We're back again to discuss the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, as well as preview the championship round of the playoffs. And with me, of course, is Al, and Brandon is joining us again. It's great. He's been with us the last few weeks, and will be the rest of the way, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so. As long as you guys continue to have me back. I mean, I know I've been doing pretty well in the picks, so I don't know if that's
that's another
going to
good
contribute
reason.
to. Yeah.
If you don't start sucking a little, I'm going to vote you off.
We'll
No,
see.
you've been an
This
awesome
might happen
addition,
this
my
week.
man.
All right. Well, then let's jump right into the divisional round. The games were almost as good as the wild card rounds. Let's be honest. I mean, they were really good, close games. It was there were a couple really good, close games, and there were a couple that were not at all. So two good games.
Yeah, 2 of the 4 were awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's discuss the first one. Denver 33, Buffalo 30. The Bills, even without Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson to get in their way, now Bo Nix got in their way and Sean Payton got in their way, and they are going home again. Josh Allen was crying on the sidelines, and then they fired their coach the very next day. Sean McDermott is out. We all got this one wrong except Brandon. Brandon picked Denver. Going,
Yeah, well done.
Yes, sir.
yeah, we all picked Buffalo.
I mean, it wasn't either or game, both teams were very close. I've got to say I was surprised given the miscues of Josh Allen, that fumble he had at the end of the first half. And
Crazy.
yeah, another couple throughout the game. Just not a great game by him. It was kind of interesting, kind of an interesting through line of the whole weekend. There was really no quarterbacks who were good the entire, like Bo Nix, I guess, had a decent day, and we'll get to Sam Darnold. He kind of didn't really need to do much, but by and large, defense has made a lot of good plays, and the quarterbacks just weren't really that great. But this one was interesting, a close game that came down to overtime, and it just kind of Josh Allen. The team, obviously there's some issues with the team, but Josh Allen just kind of did not get it done in this one. He just wasn't great, and the Broncos kind of just took advantage of the situation.
I mean, real quick, Al, I know you got to get to it.
Yeah.
Time of possession, 40-29 in favor of Buffalo. 449 yards to 349 yards in favor of Buffalo.
That just goes to show you it was all kind of down to miscues or down to, mismanaging possessions and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so many turnovers. It was unbelievable. I mean, how many times did Josh Allen turn the ball over? It was at least 3 because there were 2 picks in that fumble. Was there any other ones?
4.
What was it, Craig?
2 picks and 2 fumbles lost.
Yeah, 2 fumbles. Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
And James Cook fumbled as well, so you got 5 turnovers.
5 total turnovers. Yeah, 4 of them right on Josh. It's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, their roster is not good enough to make up for him not being Superman.
Basically, that's what it boils down to. Yep.
Yeah.
What the biggest surprise of the post, listen, McDermott getting fired was a little surprising, but not shocking by any means. Did you guys realize he has the best regular season record in the NFL over the last 9 years?
Really?
Yep, and it's not that close. His win percentage is higher than any other coach that's been coaching in that time frame.
Wow.
Yep, he's number 1 on like 9 things among head coaches since he's been the head coach of the Bills. I had no idea. I just saw the stats when he got fired. So it's a fascinating fire. I mean, he has firmly entrenched himself in the Marty Schottenheimer conversation of coaches that are great in the regular season and then collapse in the post.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about him. I can't wait to see what he does in his next stop because he's certainly going to get another shot. I don't know where he lands in the end as a coach. I don't know how I feel about him after all this time. But the surprising thing about this to me, because as I just said, and you guys I think agree with me, one of the biggest deals in Buffalo is their roster's not that great overall, top to bottom. And what else came out of that press conference? Brandon Beane got promoted not just not fired, because I thought it was going to be a package deal. He didn't get fired. He got promoted, which was astonishing to me. And then, did you guys see they threw Keon Coleman under the bus at the press conference? The owner
saying that was crazy, and he's still on the team.
He's not going to be for long. There's no way that is going to stay after that, after the owner threw him under the bus just to defend his GM. So
yeah, I don't ever remember that. Like a GM, like an owner saying basically, hey, the GM couldn't do what he wanted to do. He had to, the coach is the one who made the decision to pick this guy. It's like the GM, doesn't the GM have power technically in a lot of situations over the coach here? What are we talking about?
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I've never heard anything like it either. That was wild. And he put all his eggs in the Brandon Beane basket. And there was a stat. Do you realize that Brandon Beane, I think it was somewhere around 50 plus draft picks that he's taken since Josh Allen, he has produced 2 Pro Bowlers.
Really?
Wow.
2 Pro Bowlers since 2018 through the draft.
Yeah, it's not
Wow.
good. That's not good enough.
And that got him promoted. That surprised the heck out of me. So that Buffalo situation is fascinating. And how glad are you, Brandon, John Harbaugh committed to your team before that became open?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he probably would have went there.
I would have, you know.
Yeah, there's a few people we have to thank for that. Tyler Loop is definitely one of them. But, Buffalo as well, their situation is definitely – it was fortunate that it shook out the way it did.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fascinating, man. Absolutely fascinating.
Bo Nix, 279, 3 touches, 1 pick. Denver could not run the ball at all. 70 yards total. Harvey had 20 yards. McLaughlin had 21 yards. Bo Nix himself had 29 yards. Could not run the ball at all. Didn't light it up either. Bo Nix had the 3 touchdowns, but 279's, it's not like he threw for 400 yards. This was all about Buffalo's mistakes more than anything. Even James Cook, he had the fumble, but he had 117 yards. Josh Allen threw for 3 touchdowns. This was just Buffalo making mistake after mistake after mistake all game long.
Yeah. I mean, they did everything they could to give this game away, and it still went to overtime. So that tells you everything.
Yeah.
And I really am now very upset that they did not win. First of all, they were my Super Bowl pick to go to the Super Bowl. But also, they would give New England a much better fight because after the game, we find out Bo Nix broke his foot. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. And they're going to be going with Jarrett Stidham.
Well, if that doesn't
AFC Championship game, his 6th ever start in history, 6th start is the AFC Championship game against the Patriots.
Well, if I could jump in on this one first, I'd love to throw this at you guys. If you've heard this, don't say it until after I read it for the listeners. But have you guys and have our listeners heard about Nick Foles' tweet about this situation? All right, let me read it for the listeners then. So this is Nick Foles' tweet that came out pretty much right after it got announced that Bo Nix broke his ankle. Note for the Broncos and their fans, I know it's been an emotional 24 hours. I feel for Bo and the team, and I'm sending prayers for a strong recovery. On a positive note, going into the game versus the Patriots is that they struggle against backup quarterbacks in championship-type games.
Well, apparently it's true.
Great.
Well done.
Apparently it's true. For whatever reason. I mean, it's true. It was true with Foles, obviously. But I
They
think
gave up 45 points or whatever it was to Nick Foles and the Eagles. So, yeah.
But I think there's other examples, too.
There might be. I don't know. Honestly, I didn't look into it that far. I just thought that was freaking priceless.
Yeah,
that was great. That was a great tweet. Okay. Well, since we already talked about it, let's just finish off the AFC. New England gets the win over Houston, 28-16. It's just like, it's pulling for the Texans. Their defense was okay, but the problem was, once again, the turnovers. CJ Stroud set a record with 4 interceptions in the first quarter.
Incredible.
And just puts them right behind the 8 ball, and that's it. That's the game. The game's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon. This is
I mean,
crazy.
surprisingly, it really wasn't over at that point, but just the way that if you saw the look on C.J. Stroud's face going into the half, then you kind of knew that it was over. I was kind of surprised that they didn't think about putting in Davis Mills. Stroud just looked terrible. He looked like he was frightened, basically. He just looked completely scared. Drake May was not great either in this game. 3 lost fumbles. He did have some good throws. Obviously he outplayed CJ Stroud by a lot, but I didn't think it was a great Drake May game either. It was kind of a ugly game. I thought there were good defenders on each side. Daniil Hunter was a monster. Will Anderson on the other side was great getting in there. So it was kind of just like an ugly, kind of like mostly defensive game, even though the Patriots did some things on offense. But Craig, as you pointed out, a lot of it was turnovers.
Yeah, Drake May had 4 fumbles in this game and lost 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also threw a pick. I mean, he was getting knocked around, and that Houston defense showed up a little, to some degree. I mean, you keep giving the ball to the other team on the, your own 30-yard line or something, whatever the case was. I really, don't put that on the defense. That defense still played well, and they were still holding their own. Going into the fourth quarter, it was still a game, and it was all because of that defense. No matter what situation they got put in by the offense, they were still coming up and hitting him and getting sacks and getting, fumbles, and they were still doing their job. It's just, it was a matter of they just were in an unwinnable situation, really.
And the other thing that happened in this game, to go with everything you guys said, and I agree with 1,000%, is one of their starting tackles was at their right or left tackle. I can't remember. Houston, I'm talking about, was out for this game. And it was like everything because their offensive line slowly improved a little bit it was awful to start this year. It was awful all last year. And it was even worse to start this season. And it got a little better and a little better to be functional by the end of the season. They lost that tackle and it went right back to where it was in week 1, and it cost them big.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted the Texans. And we talk about New England with the easy schedule, and now they have an easy path. It's insane. They have the easy schedule. They have the easy schedule to get to that record. Then they have a barely functioning Chargers team, which I don't even know what that was when they were playing there, with their their offensive line woes and the fact that what's his face, the quarterback, his name is escaping me, with the broken hand.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. Thank you. And then after that, they get this Houston game, and right out of the gate, C.J. Stroud is a petrified kid, and he throws 4 interceptions, and that's basically gifted to them in this one. And then next week they get to go play a backup quarterback in his 6th start, and then they're in the Super Bowl.
Priceless, man. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I'm with you,
crazy, man.
I'm with you, man. I wanted them to, face some sort of adversity here. Obviously, these are all playoff teams. They can only play who's in front of them. But, yeah, I did want that as well, and it just feels like their path is so easy to get to that last game.
All right, well, we're not doing picks now, but if Bo Nix did not get hurt, would you be picking Denver to beat New England?
I would have picked whoever the home team was, and since Denver's at home, yes.
Yeah, I would have picked Denver.
Yeah, I would have too. Okay. Just checking that. All right. Let's move on to the second Saturday game, which was horseshit. I mean, that was just terrible. 41-6, the Seahawks absolutely dominated the Niners. Finally, it seemed like for the first time, all their injuries came back to haunt them finally and really hurt them. And that is not the team to be messing around with all these injuries and backup players. They are not to be trifled with. That defense is ridiculously good. It seems like it's been getting better, actually, the last few weeks. It's got to be right up there with Houston in everybody's mind at this point, I think. And they are playing the best out of any team that's left.
Yeah, you said it, Craig. The Seahawks just really did, like, Darnold did not have to really do much in this game. When I was talking about basically the quarterbacks weren't really good over this past weekend. Darnold just didn't have to do much, so it was kind of like almost like an incomplete. He did what he had to. He only threw 17 passes. Did what he had to, manage the game. But the defense of Seattle, especially the defensive line, Leonard Williams and former Giant and all those guys, they were in the backfield in every single play. McCaffrey couldn't really do much. You could tell San Francisco's skill position guys really couldn't get much out of them because Purdy didn't really have time to throw the ball. Yeah, it's just an outright massacre by Seattle.
That's the thing is, it's even more impressive because there's nothing crazy that they did on offense.
No. Yeah, the tone got set on this one with that kickoff return right off the bat, and it was never a game. I mean, it was never a game.
Another one like we talked about, Brandon, where like you're watching it, and at no point do you think San Fran has a shot.
Yeah, when they were up 14-0, I was like, this game is over, and it might actually there should be like a mercy rule because it was gonna get ugly. I knew from that point on.
Yeah, man, to treat it like a little league game, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah, this was just an absolute destruction. I mean, listen, this isn't the end of the world, but it is a big deal. They lost Zach Charbonnet for the rest of the year. Now, Kenneth, luckily they've been doing such a good job of limiting carries on both of those guys all year that they ought to just be able to lean on Kenneth Walker for the rest of the playoffs pretty hard. But
3 touchdowns in this one.
Yeah, and he's great, but I mean, it's not the way they ran their offense all year, so it's going to affect them in some way.
And Jackson, Smith, and Jigba only had 3 catches for 19 yards.
Yeah, they didn't need him.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I think they're pretty scary. Al, what's your just outlook on Seattle? Like, what do you think of the Seahawks now?
Best team left, easily. If they can listen, it's the Rams are their. To me, the Rams are their Super Bowl. Although it's crazy to say it, I might change my mind in a couple weeks. But the best 2 teams left to me are the Rams and the Seahawks. Although the Rams are doing a good job of pretending not to be great right now. So I'm really not sure about them. I feel a lot more confident in the Seahawks right now. So yeah, to me they're the best team left.
Brandon, do you agree?
I agree completely. What did we say basically most of the year? Definitely since I've been on is basically Seattle is phenomenal. Their defense is awesome. They've got good skill position guys now. JSN is now one of the top 3 receivers in the league, pretty much unquestionably. But do you have faith in Sam Darnold? And I think this game kind of, and some of the games past have kind of proven to me that maybe I don't have 100% faith, but I don't think it really matters because none of these other teams are quite on their level.
Right. I got to the point where I don't think – I still haven't seen him win a game for them, especially a big game like this one or the one coming up. But I got to the point now where I'm pretty confident that he won't lose the game for me.
Yeah, I don't really think that there's – I mean, it clearly depends on how they play, of course. If they're in that position, then maybe. But it seems like he's not even really in the ability to lose the game because the defense is, and special teams, as we saw this past week, they're so far ahead that it's like, okay, even if he throws a couple picks in that San Fran game, like, I don't think they're losing that game. So, I don't know.
And here's an interesting note to that, because I kind of feel sort of the same way, but I'm a little still lower on Darnold than that because it was only 2 months ago that he threw 4 picks against the Rams.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So the old Darnold is still in there, and I want to see if they have to come from behind, and the Rams could do it to him. If they have to come from a significant, say they're behind by 10 in the second half or something like that, and more than 1 score in the second half. That's what I'd love to see, although I don't know we're going to see. You know what I mean? I'd like to see him have to overcome that and do it. He's done it. Wow, he's done it the last couple of years a couple of times, but he's also thrown 4 picks or 3 picks in big games too. So it's a really curious kind of open-ended thing that we have to see. He might not be put in a spot in the next 2 games to have to do it, like Brandon kind of said. So I'm really curious here. I really am. He's the one question mark. If they had Matt Stafford, I'd pencil them in for a Super Bowl win right now. You know what I mean? Not even hands down. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But here we are, and I still think they're the best team even with Darnold. So
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we mentioned them a few times. So let's get to the Rams over the Bears, 20-17. Oh, by the way, we all got Buffalo wrong, except for Brandon had Denver. We all got New England right, and Brandon, thanks to his caveat, got it right.
Yeah, nice.
No college.
Which ultimately didn't really matter that much. I will say that Dalton Schultz going out in the first quarter, I think, was somewhat significant to Stroud having those struggles, but 4 picks is inexcusable. So
Right.
Yeah.
So we all got New England right. We all got Seattle right. And this one, me and Joe got the Rams. Oh no, me, Joe, and Brandon got the Rams right. Al, you picked Chicago in this one.
Listen, let me tell you something. You guys all got it right. Credit to you. And I went with the underdog. But when Caleb Williams quarterback sneaked or had that run or whatever it was if there was a run, not a sneak, for the first down in overtime to cross over the 50-yard line, I was like, hey, I got this. You know what I mean? I could not believe they lost that game at that point.
Yeah, but what about before that when he did that, dropped back like 30 yards and just heaved it with basically, I don't think he even knew where he was throwing it. I mean, there was no way that was planned. The way that it went up so high, but for whatever reason, that guy was wide open in the back of the end zone there. That was one of the craziest plays I've seen. But I know some people think that, he knew where he was going to be. I don't think he had any clue where he was going to be. And I honestly think he was just throwing it up. Because at that point, everybody's out of their roots and they're just running around back there.
I think it was one of those plays where the quarterback knows where the guy is and he throws it, but he doesn't have nearly the arm to get it there. And I think that's kind of what happened. Like Caleb knew the general place where he was going to be. He threw it, but the defender should have been there. So since he wasn't there for some reason, even though he had forever to get there, they ended up catching it and it ended up being a good play or one of the craziest plays I've seen.
Yeah, one of the craziest plays I've seen.
Yeah.
It looked like I'm waiting for somebody to sync up a Fran Tarkington scramble to that one because it looked like Fran. Like Fran would just run around for like what felt like a minute. You know what I mean? And then heave a ball. And he was one of the best quarterbacks of his era. And I haven't seen anything like that in a playoff game ever. I mean, that was wild, man. That was really wild. And what a heck of a play to get it to overtime. This was a great game. I really enjoyed it. It was rough weather. It was tough going, and the defenses were playing well. The offenses weren't outstanding, but they were solid. It was a great game. And
the tough weather was really making it difficult for them. Stafford was 20 for 42.
Yeah, man. And
no touchdowns.
That is not a Matt Stafford line for sure.
It was really weird for him because the Bears kept sending a corner blitz basically every play. And the Rams kept throwing it. Every play they were sending a corner blitz, and they just couldn't figure out to kind of like put a guy over the middle. And, Stafford kept trying to heave it for one of his receivers. It was just a really weird game plan from them, but they kind of figured it out in the fourth quarter. What do you guys think about the Bears deciding to not go for that 2-point at the end and kicking a field goal instead?
You're at home, and I always subscribe to the theory that if you're at home, you can play for the overtime, but if you're on the road, you try to steal it.
That seems to be the general philosophy at times, or sometimes you get a Dan Campbell who's just super uber aggressive and is going to do it every time, no matter what. Which is funny because help me with the Bears coach's name. I always forget.
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. That guy goes for it on every fourth down. It doesn't matter if he's at his own 4-yard line. It's crazy. So I thought for sure he was going to do it, and he didn't. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to complain about them not doing it when they didn't, and I wouldn't have complained about it if they had gone for it and missed it. You know what I mean? I have mixed feelings on it. I could go either way. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say I would have gone for it because I think that the Rams offense was starting to wake up a little bit at the end of that. And it's like, all right, if the Rams start getting going, then, but it's easy for me to say that considering, as you said, Al, the Bears had the ball over the 50.
They stopped them on the first drive and were 15 yards from an easy field goal to win that game. Yeah. And then, by the way, watch out for a DJ Moore trade in the offseason.
Yeah.
He gave up on that ball. That interception was his fault, not Caleb Williams. And it was 100% lack of effort. I've never seen it. And I like DJ Moore as a player, but that was brutal.
Yep. 3 interceptions also didn't help the cause when you only lose by 3 points. Another overtime game, but a fun game to watch. I love the games in the snow and stuff and the weather and the elements. But if you like, crisp, clean offense, that's not the game for you because
no, yeah, good point. Yeah,
Stafford was, like I said, not even 50%.
Yeah, no, and I mean, Caleb Williams was barely 50% himself, So yeah, it was a tough day. We didn't mention the weather enough when we talked about the New England game, Houston game either. I mean, that was even more sloppy in New England than it was in Chicago.
Yeah, so, there was a lot of passes that just did not look right coming out of anybody's hand, like Stafford's hands. In this game, Caleb Williams, also Drake May, and of course, it didn't look right coming out of.
They're right, man. I mean, you're talking about some of the best quarterbacks in the league between Stafford and Drake May, and then 2 other guys that are good and up and coming, and you had double-digit turnovers between those guys,
Yeah, and like I said, the ball just didn't seem to come out of anybody's hand looking normal.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate how much weather affects that. It really is a factor. It's hard to, even when you watch it on TV, it doesn't look as bad as it is. But nobody played great. The ones that played okay, that translates to awesomeness if they're in a dome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those were the 4 games.
Boom. That was a fun weekend of football. I enjoyed that a lot.
Me and Joe went 3-1. Brandon, of course, goes 4-0.
Yeah, dude. Very nice.
Pure luck, but it was. But I'm glad it went my way. But it was a couple bounces here and there that could have gone wherever.
Yeah. And now you went 2-2.
Out with a whimper.
We'll probably be 3-0 the rest of the games.
I need it now, not to make a total ass out of myself.
All right. Well, do you want to
fire up the next week?
Fire up next week?
Let's do it.
Oh, real quick. Josh Allen is now 0-7 in overtime games in his career.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that stat.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of those games, he took a team down the field and put them ahead, or was some of them were lost in overtime where he never got to touch the ball. Some of them were the new rules where the Bills kicked a field goal and the other team scored a touchdown. So it wasn't like it's because Josh Allen sucks in overtime. A lot of it is team circumstance, but it still blew my mind. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it is. All right. So, here we go. Let's start with the AFC. So, we talked about the Bo Nix situation. We've got New England at Denver with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. Brandon, you take this one first.
All right. Well, we talked about the Pats and their path essentially to try to get to the Super Bowl. Jarrett Stidham. Do not think he's terrible, but none of us really remember much because the last time he threw football in the NFL was 2 years ago. Yeah, this is a tough one. I think if the Broncos can keep the game close, then they have a shot. I don't think the Broncos defense is elite, but I do think they're opportunistic. So if they can get the right circumstance, they can keep it close, but I'm going to say the Pats take it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Craig, I just can't pick Jarrett Stidham over May. I know that, that's not all it comes down to, but I'm going with a score of 26-17.
Right on, Craig.
I hear you. Makes sense. Just writing it down. Yeah, I want to take Denver so bad. I don't really hold much credence into the whole, they don't play well against backup quarterbacks. I think that was more for jokes than anything. But, that's kind of what you got to hang on to if you're a Denver person. Man, I really want to take him, but I can't do it. You just can't take, even at home, Denver to win this game with Jarrett Stidham. Maybe he'll surprise us. That would be fantastic. Maybe he plays really well and they win this game, and I would love it. So I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I can't pick it. So I'm going New England, and I'm going 19-13 in a low-scoring game because the defenses on both teams still pretty good, and I don't think it'll be high-scoring at all. Joe agrees. Also New England, 24-20, also a close, kind of low-scoring game.
The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is that I don't think that, based on especially what we saw this past week with Buffalo being like the 28th ranked run defense and Denver being unable to run the ball on them, that doesn't inspire any sort of confidence that it could take any weight off of what Stidham's going to be dealing with in this game.
Right. That's a great point. Listen, now you guys know, obviously, that I'm an Eagle fan. And we talked about the Nick Foles tweet, and I very well remember Carson Wentz heading for an MVP. Now think about that. That's a crazy sentence to think about that used to happen.
He was though. He was.
Yep. He was, and there was no doubt about it. And then he got hurt about 3 or 4 weeks before the end of the season. And in stepped Nick Foles, and everybody thought the season was over. Not me, but I didn't think they were going to win the Super Bowl, but I liked Foles, but I didn't think he was going to do what he did. And I watched him lead them right through the playoffs and right into a shootout against the Patriots where he outdueled Tom Brady. Now, all that being said, I'm not picking the Broncos. No, thank you, because Jarrett Stidham is not Nick Foles. Nick Foles had a ton of experience before then. He'd been a starter several times when Michael Vick and Chip Kelly were there, and a few other times it popped up. He'd been traded and become a starter in another town. So he had a ton of experience, and he was an ideal backup quarterback. This is not that, so I can't pick it. I wouldn't be stunned if they won. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, maybe Jarrett Stidham has a nice game in him. It's not like New England's, the Randy Moss, Tom Brady undefeated New England. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it wouldn't absolutely stun me, but it would be more surprising than if who I don't pick in the other game won, if that makes sense. So I'm taking New England, and check this out, Craig. It's not exact, but it's pretty damn close. I'm taking them 19-14.
Okay. Yep. I can't see Denver scoring much more. I don't think Denver's going to score 20. Let me say that.
Yeah. It's a shame, by the way. I don't know what the weather forecast is in Denver. I haven't looked yet. I don't know if either of you guys have heard, but it's a shame there's no outdoor East Coast games this weekend, because I don't know what you guys are projected to get in Jersey and Connecticut, but they're talking about 20 inches in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on Sunday.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Right on. Yep. All right. We good on that one?
Yeah, I hope we're all wrong.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I love it. Okay. And then the real banger of the weekend, the NFC Championship game, the Rams at the Seahawks. Craig, take it away.
This would be normally a really tough pick, but I have a different kind of reason. I picked the Rams at the beginning of the year, and I want to be right. That's the only reason. Everything is pointing to Seattle, all the momentum, how well they're playing. The Rams are in these dogfights with these lesser teams, and now they're going to Seattle on the road, and everything in my head is saying Seattle. So that's another reason why I'm going with the Rams. kind of like the old Pittsburgh rule, but also
Yeah.
because I picked the Rams at the beginning of the year and I want to be correct.
I get it, dude. That's as good a reason as any.
But I'm going super, super tight. I'm picking a classic, all-time classic game because the first two games were unbelievable. 31-30 Rams.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it. Joe?
30-24, surprisingly enough, also Rams.
Really? Well, he's been on the Rams high all year, too.
Yeah.
He kept them in the top 5 power rankings when all of us thought that they shouldn't be. So that doesn't surprise me too much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon?
Well, I'm glad now that I did not go with the Rams because I was very close to going with the Rams, and it would not surprise me at all if the Rams won this game. What I am going to say is that the Rams do overcome a little bit of the Seattle defense that's been playing phenomenal lately, but just have a hard time believing that the Rams offense is not going to wake up in any significant way. But they do need a better game plan than what they came with against Chicago. I also think the Charbonnet injury is going to hurt the Seahawks, Al, as you mentioned earlier. I think that 1-2 punch was it really by the end of the year. I think it was one of the best in the league.
I agree. It's not overwhelmingly. It's not an overwhelming detriment, but it is a factor, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this is also like kind of like Craig predicted a high scoring game. I think it's one of the situations where the Seahawks defense comes up when it needs to, but it's not something that stops the Rams throughout the game. I'm going with Seattle 33-28.
Love it. Okay. Well, we're all very much in similar ballparks on our scores. We're all looking at a shootout here. It would be fascinating if you get a snow day in the Pacific Northwest here, but man, I can't wait to see this game. This is the game of the weekend. I love this is we've been talking about these two teams as being I think you and Joe, Craig, have had them in your top 5. You dropped them out for a little bit during that stretch where they should have been dropped out, and all due respect to Joe, I would just disagree. It's okay. But in the end, he ended up being right. You know what I mean? Not that they should have been there at the time, but they certainly are there now. So this is a fascinating game. These guys just played a classic a month ago, 38-37 in overtime, So I can't wait. I cannot wait for this game. I don't know what's wrong with the Rams lately. I can't figure it out, but something's off. They played the freaking Panthers to a 3-point game, which still blows my mind. They lost to the Falcons 3 games ago. So this is not the turbocharged Rams that they were at one point this season, but it's always right there. It feels like it could come back any second. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes against the way I pick it, but I'm picking Seattle at home I probably would have picked Seattle on the road too, but it would have been a lot harder. I'm not really sure. I might have gone Rams. It would have to have happened for me to know what I would have done. But at home, I'm taking Seattle 34-31.
Tell you what, if any of these scores happen, we're in for a hell of a game.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping for that.
And that is it for our game. This is our lightest slate of the year. And AFC Championship weekend, NFC Championship weekend, man. I love this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got some good games, good, interesting stuff. I would so love if Denver can somehow pull this off. That's what I'm really hoping more than anything.
It would be priceless, man. It's funny though. It's funny, and I get it because of your location, but I'm amazed how much my just disdain and hatred of the Patriots. Hatred, it's too strong of a word, but my just strong dislike and just being sick of the Patriots just all went away with Brady and Belichick going.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can understand that.
if I was in your area, I totally get it, and having to deal with it constantly in your face. Because I went to school in Massachusetts, and I understand what Patriot fever is. You know, I was there during the Bledsoe era, so I understand how much it's in your face up there. But it's not like that for me, and it all went away with Belichick, especially.
Shout out to our listener Bob, who has been.
Oh, thank you, Craig, because I wanted to do that. Yeah, shout out to Bob.
he comments every week now about his Patriots. He's kind of a typical Patriots fan. Doesn't want to hear the light schedule or anything like that, and I understand that.
I get it 100%.
And he seems like a good fan and everything. So shout out to Bob. Hopefully he'll comment on this video as well. And yeah, guys, you want to talk a little bit about some coaches?
Yes. And let me just say real quick, Bob's the man. I love his comments thank you for commenting on our stuff, Bob. And, I love all his, comments when I give you reactions. And, that dude has seen some stuff. I'll just say that.
One other thing on the Patriots hatred, I guess you could say, Craig. I'm wondering, like, with this matchup, Denver and the Pats, is it kind of like the Warriors or like the Miami Heat when LeBron's on the team, where it's like you want them to lose, but it's like, do we really want to see Jarrett Stidham in the Super Bowl? Like that's
that's a fair point.
Kind of the thing too.
That is a very fair point.
Because what would the point spread be? Let's just assume for sake of discussion. Actually, it could apply to either one of the NFC teams. But let's just assume for the sake of discussion, Seattle wins. What's the point spread against Jarrett Stidham-led Broncos? I'd say it's double digits easily.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to say like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'm with you, Craig. It's something to think about.
Yeah, I hear you.
I love it. All right. Yes. So glad to take it from there, Craig. I'm glad I wanted to bring up Bob because he's been such a cool dude supporting us and always commenting on all the reactions I give you. Love the guy without ever having that. Big shout out to Bob.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think the first one we got to go right to Brandon. Take it away. Your team got their guy.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on weeks prior. I like Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh was the right hire for this team. Just everything he's been able to do over the years. He's a proven winner. I think that guys will want to play for him. I think he'll command a certain level of respect. It's a little strange, not strange, but I don't know if it's completely the right move to just give him the keys to everything. But at the same time, it's like, you're the Giants. You haven't won games in years. So at this point, you kind of just need the adult in the room to kind of just tell you how to do things the right way. So I don't have a problem with it. I think he's the right hire. I'm not like all of the fans who just think he's automatically going to be like the savior of the franchise completely. We still have to do the right things, but I do like the hire overall.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can not like it. What I want to ask though, Jackson Dart, Neighbors, and Scadaboo, and then whoever they draft with that high pick, which should be another receiver, stay healthy. What do the Giants do next year if those three are healthy?
Yeah, I think the health is the big part of it, right? Because you see Neighbors is still like on crutches. They don't even know if he's going to be ready for the start of the season. Scadaboo, just his running style is one of those, where he could get injured for half the season most of the time, but when he's on the field, he's great. He could be one of those players. So it's hard to predict. I think the Giants still have some depth issues, so we'll see how those are addressed with Harbaugh. Like, there's reports that he's looking at a bunch of Ravens cast-offs and free agents and all that, so maybe that helps strengthen their team a little bit. I think they have the potential for a wild card spot or competing for a wild card spot. I don't think that's ridiculous, especially when you look at how many games they blew this year. So I definitely think that's in play. And they had the hardest schedule in the league this year. So
and that's another thing too. All of us should have better records because we're not going to have that schedule again.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I don't want to see it, I have a bad feeling that the Giants are going to be good right away. Not great. They're not going to win 10 games or anything, but I see 8 or 9, absolutely. And if it's 9, that means you're going to have meaningful December football for the first time in I don't know how long. And
I want that so bad. If our season isn't over by Halloween, I'll be happy.
Oh, man, that's priceless, dude. I get it, 100%.
Yep, a lot of Giants fans are saying that they just want to be relevant, and I think they're going to get that right off the bat. They're going to be relevant next year.
I'm really curious to see how quick Harbaugh shapes things up because we've seen it time and time again where it takes a little while with a new coach. It doesn't matter how great the coach is. So,
Right.
Can they pull it together, and especially in the no preseason era? You know what I mean? Like no significant preseason anyway. Nobody of any significance plays in the preseason anymore.
Might be better to play them early.
Yeah. And so I have a feeling they're going to struggle for the first month or two. And how much and whether they can stay competitive through that is going to be interesting to see. I mean, remember the Bears early this season.
Yeah.
So now, that being said, the Bears ended up winning the division, so I don't think it's going to be a season-long detriment. I think they could pull it together by 2 months in and be good. This is fascinating, man. Harbaugh's a fascinating guy. Do you guys remember that his last job before being the Ravens head coach was Eagles special teams coordinator?
Yeah, I don't remember him on the team at all, but I I have read that.
Yeah, their special teams was awesome while he was there, and then all of a sudden he became do you remember any other guy going from special teams right to head coach? I don't remember it ever happening.
No Judge of the Giants, unfortunately, but aside from him.
Yeah, not a great example, but Harbaugh's the shining example of that maneuver, I guess. I hate it as an Eagle fan, of course, because he's been very, successful for a long time. And I think they got I think to me, the best candidate available, unless you were going to talk about Mike McCarthy, because they are exactly the same guy.
Right, and or Tomlin, but he's not coming out.
Yeah. If Tomlin was on the table too, and you could have waited and had Sean McDermott if you wanted to, but nobody knew that at the time.
Right.
And I don't think I would take him over Harbaugh.
Yeah, me neither. Nope. Okay. Who else do we got? Oh, Stefanski.
Yeah, who I was hoping they would sign before they got to talk to Harbaugh, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how good a coach this guy is because I don't have a clue. Did you hear what Baker Mayfield had to say about this, by the way?
No.
Dude, Baker hates Kevin Stefanski.
Oh.
Stefanski apparently threw him under the bus in a press conference after they traded him. And Baker's like, I can't wait to kick your ass twice a year. I mean, I don't have the exact quote in front of me. I should have pulled it up. I'll try and find it eventually here. But he does not like him at all. And so we got a nice little rivalry thing going there because they're going to be playing each other twice a year for a little while at least. I don't know how good a coach Kevin Stefanski is. He won Coach of the Year twice. I'm still not that impressed. So I don't know. He was Coach of the Year twice and had one of the worst records in the league a couple times too. I don't know who he is. What do you guys think?
I think he's a little better than you're saying right now. I mean, but I can see your points for sure. The two coaches of the year has got to mean something, and it does a little bit to me. It shows that basically what the coach of the year is now is you just exceed expectations by a lot.
Right.
Which means he did it twice.
Yep.
And I think the only thing you got to know for sure, you got to find out is how great he is with a quarterback, because that's kind of wishy-washy. That's not exactly true.
Well, he couldn't develop Baker Mayfield.
Right. So maybe he's not very good with a quarterback. And then I think a good head coach has got to be good at developing a quarterback.
And he's got to develop Penix.
Yeah.
That's the whole key of that job right now, What do you think about this one, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Well, yeah, I guess I'm kind of with you, Al, to a certain extent. Everything I've heard about Stefanski, aside from, just him getting Coach of the Year and kind of exceeding expectations, but also faltering on some seasons too, is that he kind of is a sort of a yes man in some ways. He's kind of in agreeance a little bit too often. Like, he's not really going to come and shake things up, which is kind of like why I wasn't enamored with him with the Giants. I think we needed a coach that come in and be like, I have my system, I have my stuff, I'm going to take it there, and we're going to win under the way that I've done it in the past. Stefanski, I think, probably would have come in and said, all right, well, who do you guys recommend for my coordinators? Who do you guys, so I'm still kind of, jury's still out for me as well, Al. I think that he still has some things to prove. It wouldn't shock me if he had some success, but it also wouldn't shock me if he was out in a couple of years from that team.
I'm right there with you. That's exactly how, because I just don't know. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm saying inconclusive evidence. You know, he went 11-5, 8-8, 7-10, 11-6, 8-9, 5-12. I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, I love it. Cool.
This is interesting. Robert Saleh is getting the Tennessee job.
Oh, I was waiting to talk about this. Yeah, go ahead, because this is fascinating to me that he already got another job.
I'm a little surprised. Only 1 year, and then he goes right back into the coaching ranks. I figured he was, pretty terrible, and he probably would have been the San Francisco defensive coordinator for maybe 2 or 3 years, and then maybe get back. After just 1 year, he's back already.
Yeah, I think we've seen this. He thinks of him, I guess, because he couldn't have done worse with the Jets. So it was astonishing to me a little bit, although I've been hearing his name, so it didn't stun me, but it was still very surprising. I wouldn't have done it. He's an excellent, top-notch defensive coordinator, but and it's very hard to succeed with the Jets. I mean, whoever has since freaking Joe Namath.
That's Ryan.
Yeah, sexy Rexy, that's right.
Back-to-back AFC Championship games is pretty good.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I forgot about the that was with Chad Pennington, right?
No, that was Mark Sanchez.
Oh, that was Sanchez. Oh, yeah, and then the butt fumble, yeah.
Couldn't get over the hump, but had a couple of good years.
Yeah. Now that's fair, and that's 15, 20 years ago now. So yeah, that's just it's a doomed franchise. And it's so maybe that's what they're looking at. I don't know. This was just fascinating to me. What do you think of it, Craig? Or whoever didn't talk yet.
I just think you kind of said it, Al. I think Saleh, you had an opportunity. I'm not saying a lot of head coaches, they kind of need to find themselves in their second tenures, like their first tenure. They're just not. They're still too young and kind of figuring it out to really know what to do, but. By and large, that his job with the Jets was awful. And if I'm hiring him, I'm wondering if he's just an awesome coordinator instead of somebody who should be making head coaching decisions and looking through the whole team. Because we've seen that as a coordinator, he's one of the best probably in the league. But just as a head coach, I don't know if he has that kind of talent.
Yeah, I'm right there with that.
I tell you what's also interesting, the fact that McDaniel is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Chargers.
I was so bummed because I said on the pod last week that's who I was rooting for. No dice, and that I think that's a big hire for them. I think that could be really big for Justin Herbert and that whole team personally.
Yeah, that can be a game changer. Maybe finally I can stop hating the Chargers.
Yeah, man. And Harbaugh is so old school that I think it's a nice mix of a new breed coach and Harbaugh. So I think it's a really great hire for them. I'm curious to see how it pans out in the end. And he was my number one offensive coordinator on the market, and they got him.
Yeah, what's up with your Eagles not being able to sign anybody? They interview all these people, and then everybody says no.
Well, I mean, McDaniel's the only one that said no so far.
I thought Dable did too.
I don't even know if they interviewed him yet.
I think they interviewed him.
There's a lot flying around.
Maybe I could have sworn I saw that.
You might be right. There's so much flying around, I'm having a hard time keeping track of it. But yeah, they didn't even get McDaniel in the building. It's wild, man. They were talking about Dayball, who's now all of a sudden named as I saw a fake news thing that he got hired as the Bills head coach today. I almost had a heart attack. Couldn't believe it.
Right, but that's a possibility. Apparently, the reason why he's stopping the OC interviews is because he thinks he can go out and get one of these head coaching jobs.
Which, hey man, I mean, maybe, I don't know what his relationship is with Josh Allen. If it's that good, it's a possibility. But I don't think any other team is going to consider him for a head coach after the Giants stint.
No, they shouldn't. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brandon
Right there.
knows.
Yes.
No doubt. Although if you want to have fun watching a coach just have fits on the sideline every week, he is very fun.
They interviewed Brian Dable on Tuesday.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, man. I don't know. And I don't know what to make of that. I don't know who I want now. You know what I mean? Like Dayball had a good couple seasons with Josh Allen as his quarterback. That means almost nothing to me. You know what I mean? Josh Allen's Josh Allen. And their run game wasn't very good. They underutilized their run game when Dayball was there. So I'm not I'm not massive on him. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to end up with. I don't like the way it's heading. Some of the names I've heard are less than inspiring. I heard they were talking about Jim Bob Cooter.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I mean, while it's one of the greatest names in football, not one of the greatest coordinators. So,
not really, no.
I mean, I don't know where this is going to end up. I had all my eggs in the Mike McDaniel basket, and I was so bummed when I saw that hire.
Dable said that he wants to be the Bills head coach, apparently. That's what he told the Eagles. And if he doesn't get that, he's likely to land as the Titans offensive coordinator with Saleh.
Man, and now, by the way, the latest news is that the Eagles are interviewing Matt Nagy, who I can't stand. Didn't like him as a head coach. I mean, look at the Chiefs' offense the last 2 years since he got, this year, since he got fired in Chicago. And, I mean, look what happened to that offense this year. They was the worst offense in the entire Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes era, by far.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Eagle Land. I don't like it.
All I know is I don't like it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, last thing. Can we all agree though that McDermott is probably the highest rated coach that's available?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, taking Mike McCarthy out of the mix because the NFL seems to want to forget about him.
Right.
But yes, if you take Mike McCarthy out of the mix, absolutely. And I would put him about even with McCarthy, even though McCarthy won a Super Bowl.
So, just prediction, where does he go?
What's left?
Well, the best job is the Ravens, right?
The Ravens is what I was going to say.
Oh, dude, that's what I would do if I was him, if I could get it. No doubt.
I have said, though, his name hasn't been out here in any of the coaching searches, so I don't really know, but I really like Brian Flores to the Ravens. I said it before. I just think that his identity as a defensive coordinator and just being able to go out there and kind of reestablish what the Ravens have had in years past, along with, Lamar and some of their good pieces on offense. I really think that could be a fit, but I don't know.
He comes to DC, stays at DC, and takes the Dallas job because Dallas interviewed him.
Who's that?
The Cowboys interviewed Flores already for the DC.
Oh, interesting. That would be weird to just move. Most team guys don't move coordinator to coordinator, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm a disappointed, frankly, and I think it's because he sued the NFL when he got fired. That was a bad move on his part. But he has not been as hot a name in this offseason as I expected him to be, and he really should be. I mean, he's done wonders with every defense he's ever touched, and he did pretty good in Miami for a coach who got fired. So it's been underwhelming. The amount of the fact that he's interviewing for other coordinator positions is not what I expected. I expected him to have at least 3 or 4 head coaching, at least interviews. You know what I mean? And he is not as hot as I thought he was going to be. And I think it comes back to him suing the NFL. I really do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hey, wait. Hold on a sec, Craig, because we didn't even talk about there's a couple things real quick, if you don't mind. We didn't talk about the Dolphins making what I think is the worst coaching hire of the offseason so far by far, and that is the Packers defensive coordinator, Jeff Hatley.
Yeah, that's a chip.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to grab headlines.
I was stunned. I mean, it's not like this guy's got. If you're hiring a defensive coordinator and you're not looking at the guy we just talked about over this guy, I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I remember
McCarthy-
when the Giants were kind of looking to add more coordinators before head coaches kind of became available. I just was not impressed. I agree with you, Al. Was not impressed.
Right on. What did you think about that one, Craig? I mean, this guy wasn't on my radar at all.
No, not on my radar in the least. And I'm trying to keep up a little bit, and but you never know. You never know who's going to get the chance. And these coordinators, they kind of go in under the radar. You don't even really realize they interviewed, and all of a sudden they're hired. I had no idea that was even a possibility until he was hired.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, it's interesting. And maybe he'll go in and kill it. There's been plenty of guys I know. Listen, when Harbaugh got hired 20 years ago as a defensive, coming off of Eagles special teams, people were like, what in the hell are the Ravens doing? And that worked out just fine. So maybe it'll be one of those. But on the surface, it's my least favorite, and it's not even close. Even way more than even Stefanski, who I'm not high on.
So where are the Eagles going to end up?
Say that again?
Where are the Eagles going to end up for OC?
I mean, I don't even know, man. I hope it's not freaking Jim Bob Cooter. That much I know.
The Cooter.
Yeah. I'd rather have Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Yes. Wow.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't mean to hedge, but I don't even know who to predict because it's so wide open and so just vague. I really hope it's not Matt Nagy, but that's that's going to be their next interview. So I don't know. I don't even know what to say. They're like the people out there that I was hoping for didn't happen. And so I don't know. There's probably somebody out there that I don't know that would be great, but I don't know how to call it. By the way, the other surprise to me was the Lions getting Drew Petzig as their offensive coordinator. I don't know if this one caught your guys' eyes at all. But
I heard it when it happened, but I didn't really think too much about it.
Well, let me give you his background and tell me if you would have hired the offensive coordinator for the Cardinals for the last 3 years.
That's a hard no.
Yeah.
Hard no.
No.
I couldn't believe it. And that has got to be, I mean, if you were an offensive coordinator in the NFL, let me put it this way, and then I'll ask you guys the same question. If I was an offensive coordinator in the NFL looking for a job this year, I would have gone right to Detroit as my number one choice easily.
Yeah. They're on the precipice.
And they end up hiring one of the least effective coordinators in the whole league the last 3 years. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, at some point results matter. It's not just your, the intangibles or what you do in terms of in the locker room and everything and what guys feel about you. The results have to matter too.
I agree, man. I totally agree. Now, let me give you a stat that will blow your mind about the Lions' new offensive coordinator. Do you guys know who led the Arizona Cardinals in rushing this year and how many yards he had? This blew my mind. I didn't know this until I started doing a little research.
Oh.
Is it not? Oh man, it wasn't Bam Knight or
it wasn't Connor because he went out right.
I was gonna say it wasn't Connor. What was that guy's name who was pretty good?
Was it like DeMarcos? No.
Good guess. It was another guy.
DeMarcado.
Maury DeMarc. Yeah. That not that guy. He was. I think he finished second. Should I tell you?
Was it Kyler Murray?
No, good guess though. That's a good guess. It was a running back.
Yeah, go ahead and say it. I can't remember.
Michael Carter. And guess how many yards he rushed for? I'm just going to tell you.
That's what I was thinking of.
333 yards. Led the Arizona Cardinals in rushing this season.
Oh, my God.
And that guy is the new offensive coordinator for what was at one point the most potent offense in the NFL. I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah, what do they see?
I don't know. It's got to be it's in the NFL. Usually, when a hire doesn't make sense, it's a personal relationship thing. So maybe he was on a staff with Dan Campbell.
That's
something
what I'm
like
thinking.
that.
Somewhere along the way, they crossed paths.
Yeah, they were roommates in college. I don't know. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that's stunning.
that was absolutely stunning to me. Yeah. So, and then the only other thing I wanted to bring up real quick, if you don't mind, is did you guys watch the college championship game? Did you guys get to watch that? Either of you?
Some of it, I saw the run.
Yeah, the modified helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get to watch this. I used to be a massive draft junkie. I still am, but I used to watch all day, every day college football, every week. I mean, and I would have a catalog of notebooks by the end of every season, and I would know every relevant player. I don't have time. I don't have time for that anymore, unfortunately. And so I don't know these guys like I used to. And I hadn't seen enough of Mendoza to have a great opinion about him. I am now a believer after watching that championship game. That was a really good defense he was going up against, and he showed heart and moxie. The only thing that sucks is he's going to one of the worst teams in the NFL to develop with. It was between the Raiders and the Jets for where you don't want to play, and he's going to end up a Raider. So.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any doubt. He cleared up any discussion on the number one pick for sure.
Yeah, I was very impressed. And he is going to be the number one, and we might not see another quarterback go until – I saw a mock draft today where Simpson from Alabama was the second quarterback to go in the draft, and it was right around 20.
Yeah, I don't think there's any quarterbacks that are even close. I like Mendoza. I think I definitely think he's the number one overall pick by far. And I think that if you're the Raiders, you have to and you should take him because I do think he has potential. But he does look to me when I watch him like in the past when we've had a very good college QB, but not really a star in the pros. Is kind of what I see, but it would not shock me if he ended up being pretty good with some years of experience.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how he pans out because there's most years he would not be the number one overall pick. There's usually enough good quarterbacks that he would have been somewhere a little lower down. But I still think he's got a shot to be good, but it sucks for him going to the Raiders for sure. That's going to stunt anybody's development. We'll see.
He might be one of those deals where he doesn't get good till he gets to his second team.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if I see like a Drake May out of him where he's like good in his second year, but
right.
I think
I think second team like a Baker or Sam Darnold or some, there's a few others where they struggle as a rookie and they struggle their first 3-4 years and then they finally get another chance. Like even Geno Smith to a degree.
Yeah, or it just consistently gets better. I could see that. I just don't think I don't necessarily see him being a star in the league, but I think he could be a quality starter. But who knows? I mean, these guys surprise us all the time.
Yep.
He's a funny guy too. I'd never heard him talk, and I don't mean intentionally funny. He's a fascinating character. He's like crazily, like super sincere in a kind of an endearing way, and he comes off like he was homeschooled, if that makes sense. And he's a fascinating young man, and he's like in the post game interview right on the field, he's like, "I'd die out there, man." He's like talking about fighting to the death. I was like, damn, this guy's a trip. I hope he succeeds. The character.
Did you see maybe we shouldn't mention it, we're not going to be on YouTube, but the girl they kept highlighting that got on ESPN like 3 or 4 times and they zoomed in on her face a few times, maybe they weren't aware, but I guess she was the girlfriend of the Miami quarterback.
Oh yeah.
And maybe ESPN didn't know, but I think they knew. She is an adult film actress.
Oh, get out.
I saw that.
I missed that. That's awesome. What a riot.
Yeah. And they at one point were literally zoomed in directly on her. There's no mistaking it. Apparently that was her.
That is freaking hilarious, dude. I missed that. I mean, I saw them showing her, but I didn't think anything much about it at the time, and I forgot. I didn't catch the news after. That is hilarious. Oh, man. I was going to ask you guys, actually, you reminded me, just a funny thing. I was going to ask you if Fernando Mendoza's family started a band with Taylor Swift, because they kept, at one point, they were showing them between every snap.
Yeah, right?
I was like, did they join forces with Taylor? Because they are showing them constantly.
Yeah, once they get a hold of a story or especially a family situation with the kid, forget about it.
Yeah. Insane.
Dude, prices.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it.
Yeah, man, that's all I got. Thank you for indulging me on those last couple things. That's great.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
so same bat time next week.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yep.
All right. Awesome.
Wait,
We'll
now,
be-
never mind. I'm good.
We'll
I'm definitely
be
good.
previewing. It'll be a early preview for the Super Bowl. Do you guys want to do like just a kind of like a, we'll review the championship games and we'll go over a little bit of the Super Bowl. Do you want to do another one the week after and really dive into the Super Bowl?
I think, especially for our predictions, I think that would be a good idea because there could be some injury news that comes out. You know what I mean? If we do our picks like a week and a half ahead of time,
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds good.
All right.
Cool.
So primarily the next pod will be next week, and then we'll just primarily go over the championship games, and we'll just touch on the Super Bowl just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have some other. Maybe the Eagles will have hired Jim Bob Cooter by then.
You'll be real excited about that.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, that sounds good, Craig.
All right. Well, if that's it, guys, once again, I want to thank you for joining me, and until next time, I will see you later.